यो व्हाट इज अप गाइस, आवाज आ रही है क्या? सही है, चल रहा है भाई सब कुछ। इसको इधर रख दो, अपन देख रहे हैं भाई।
Although depending on your body weight, you might have to.
देखो देखो देखो, थोड़ा सा जूम इन कर देता हूँ भाई ताकि तुम सब भी देख सको। तो जैसे कि तुम यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि एक तो भाई मेरे को क्लियर शो नहीं हो रहा, तो तुम्हें भाई कहाँ से होगा, लेकिन जो भी, तो मतलब थोड़ी सी ब्राइटनेस शायद से मैं इसकी कम कर दूँ तो तुम्हें शो हो जाए। नहीं होगा तुम्हें शो, लॉल। तो यहाँ पे ये है कि मतलब लोग सोचते हैं कि मतलब उनके पास मतलब अगर तीन प्लेट बेंच अगर वो मार दे, चार प्लेट स्क्वाट एंड 5 प्लेट डेडलिफ्ट, तो उसके उसके बाद उनके पास एक अच्छी फिजिक होगी। लेकिन तुम्हें जानना है कि तो तुमने एक अच्छी फिजिक अचीव कर ली है, तो तुम्हारे पास ये वाली चीज़ें होनी चाहिए जो कि भी हम सुन रहे हैं, साथ में सुनेंगे।
Just more or less, right? If you're a higher body weight, then it's going to lean more towards 30. It's going to be preacher curls for 50 kilograms for 5 reps. That's for your.
चलो भाई, मैं आईपैड में ही ऑन कर देता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही छोटा शोर है वीडियो में, तो तुम्हें तो दिख नहीं रहा होगा भाई कुछ भी।
You'll also see that I'm not going to cover every single muscle group in the entire body. Instead, I'm just going to cover the most important muscle groups that actually contribute to your aesthetics. The decline sit-ups, although depending on your body weight, row for 5 right now, right? It's going to be preacher curls for 50 kilograms for 5 reps. That's for your biceps. T-bar row for 5, maybe 6 plates for 5 reps. Wide grip weighted pull-ups for 40 kilos for 5 reps. Although depending on your body weight, you might have to adjust more or less.
क्या वाइड ग्रिप वेटेड पुल अप्स पैन जो 40 किलो, भाई मैंने आज किया था, मुझसे हुआ था भाई 10 किलो से 5।
If you're a higher body weight, then it's going to lean more towards 30. And if you're lower body weight, it might even go 45 to 50. Decline sit-ups, 20 to 30
What? Seated भाई shoulder press 100
kilograms
किलो।
for 5 reps. And again, this depends on the max incline because some sit-up benches can be not that steep, can be super steep, whereas other benches can be not so steep, and the sit-ups are going to be a lot easier to do. And that's going to give you the abs. Reverse grip Smith machine bench press, 125 kilograms for 5 reps. That's going to be one of the best and most accessible upper pec exercises because if you imagine.
Reverse grip Smith machine bench 125 भाई, 125 मुझसे फ्लैट में नहीं होता है अभी, तो यानी ये 125, वो भी 5 मारने भाई रैप।
Reverse grip Smith machine bench press, it's basically the same motion as a low to high cable fly, and it's going to focus on shoulder flexion, and it actually works the upper chest more than most incline presses. Right, again, Smith machine seated shoulder press, 100 kilos for 5 reps, and as a bonus, you can also try and get a
neck curl by 5 reps. Smith seated shoulder press.
You're going to want to set up the Smith machine chair so that you're as close to the barbell as possible with your face. The closer it is, the better it is for shoulder health, and the more it targets the right muscles.
तो इसके अंदर 100 किलो उठाना है भाई, हो और 30 से 40 किलो नेक कर्ल बैंड।
30 to 40.
नेक कर्ल क्या होती है भाई? नेक कर्ल अंदर वाली होती है, बाहर वाली होती है? वो तो शायद से नेक एक्सटेंशन हो जाती है। नेक कर्ल अंदर की होती है, हाँ, नेक कर्ल अंदर को होती है और नेक एक्सटेंशन बाहर को होती है। ये होगी नेक एक्सटेंशन। ये भाई नेक curl.
kilogram neck curl, and try to not cheat too much when you do it. So when you do these things, right, I'm just going to pull this up here. When you do these things, you're basically going to develop all of the most important areas that you need, right?
And to preacher curls. T-bar, preacher curls, bicep हो गए, T-bar row, and to 6 plate, चलो बैग हो गई, wide grip weighted pull-ups, 40 किलो, decline setup, 20 किलो, 20 से 30, depending on max incline. चलो भाई सही है.
Instead of focusing on the squat, bench, and deadlift, which will literally get you a saggy lower chest and wide hips and wide quads, these exercises, and if you actually train for 3 to 5 years and get strong enough to hit these standards, you're going to have a really moderate physique, right? Focus on preacher curls, I'll give you the biceps and a bit of the forearms. T-bar rows for the traps and upper back. Wide grip pull-ups for the lats. Decline, you're going to have a really moderate physique, right? Focus on preacher curls, I'll give you the biceps and a bit of the forearms. T-bar rows for the traps and upper back. Wide grip pull-ups for the lats. Decline sit-up for the abs, which is super important, right? Because most people don't actually do any direct ab training, even though direct ab training is one of the most important exercises, because it'll make your abs look more visible at higher body fat percentages and just make them look even better when you get lean. So decline sit-up for the abs, reverse grip Smith machine bench press, so you can actually have a full upper chest, Smith machine seated shoulder press, so you can have the front and side delt, and neck curls for the neck. Again, right? Forget about 3 plate bench, 4 plate squat, 5 plate deadlift.
और भाई forearm.
You're not a powerlifter. We're not trying to be powerlifters. We're trying to use the gym specifically as one of the most powerful soft maxes in our toolbox, right? Again, you should still be doing other soft maxes and other looks maxes, but just know that the gym is actually one of the most powerful looks maxes and can give you the most substantial magnitude in difference, right? In terms of how the transformation that you make. So we're not trying to be powerlifters and focus on getting a 4 plate squat. Honestly, forget squat and deadlift, right? Forget 4 plate squat, 5 plate deadlift. Forget all of that. Focus on these: preacher curl, T-bar rows, weighted pull-ups, decline sit-up, Smith machine reverse grip bench press, right? If you're gonna do bench press, I would highly recommend you use a reverse grip, because it's gonna train your upper chest way more than any pronated grip bench press. So from now on, when you do bench press, I would highly recommend you use a reverse grip, because it's gonna train your upper chest way more than any pronated grip bench press. So from now on, when you do bench press, just default to the reverse grip. That's how you get a really fucking amazing upper chest.
एक मिनट गाइस, मेरे को एक मोटा ही क्वेश्चन है, तो वो अपन एआई से पूछेंगे. सो तुम्हें दिख नहीं रहा क्या बोल रहा है? Do they count the barbell? The answer is most people do not count. The Smith machine bar, unless the bar is counterbalanced. Here is the clear breakdown. Standard Smith machine bar is counterbalanced. Effective bar weight 5 से 15 kilo. Many lifters say 100 kg of plates, not including the bar. Commonly heavy Smith machine bar may not be fully counterbalanced. Effective bar weight. Gym label there. Okay. ओ यानी कि 125 किलो भाई है वो मतलब करनी है लॉल. Weight is usually 105 से 115. ओके भाई समझ गया.
Shoulder press and neck curl, right? Focus on these. You can add in a bit of leg exercises if you want, but really when it comes to aesthetics, legs are gonna be really low in terms of priority, unless you have like really skinny legs. And if you want to progress every session, right, this is how I want you to progress every session, because you should be able to progress every session until you're like late intermediate to advanced. And the way you do that is don't try and progress on every exercise every session, right? That's going to be completely unrealistic. But the mentality that you should have is you want to add at least 1 rep or 2.5 kilos, which is 5.
What would you do if I would die?
What would I do if you died?
Yeah, like, what if, let's say, 5-6 years down the road, we have a house, we have kids, and I die? What would you do?
Jesus. Well, the first thing I would do is I would call the bank and I would look at the numbers in my bank account. And then every single month from that point on, I would just be like, holy shit, these numbers are going crazy, baby. Fuck, I haven't seen savings like these in years. Ever since she came around with her little boo-boo addiction, her Hello Kitty addiction, her Pokemon card addiction, draining my fucking wallet. My God, the amount of money I'd be putting away, it would not be real.
I hope our kids break contact with you and never want to talk to their father again. Dantes!
Lol.
Pounds to at least 1 exercise every session. So you don't have to progress on every exercise every session. That's not what progress every session means. You just have to have at least 1 exercise where you increase the weight or you increase the reps. And if you can do that, if you have at least 1 exercise each session that you increase the weights or reps, then that means you're progressing, and that means you're moving towards these strength standards. So, let's say you start your workout with a reverse grip Smith machine bench press, and last time you did 100 kilos for 5 reps, and this time you do 100 kilos and you try 6 reps, but you fail and you're still at 5 reps. That's fine. Move on to the next exercise, right? You do preacher curl. Last time you did 40 kilos for 3 reps. Now you want to do 40 kilos for 4 reps, but you fail again. So you stay at 3 reps. That's fine. Go to the next exercise. And let's say you do a cable lateral raise. And last time you did 15 kilos for 13 reps. And this time you did 15 kilos for 14 reps. That's the 1 rep increase. If you just have that, if you just have at least 1 exercise where you go up by 1 rep or 2.5 kilos, then that's a win, right? So that you can call that a successful session, even though in the other exercises you stay at the same reps and weight. And that's the mentality that you should have. And I would highly recommend you do 3 times a week frequency on a full body split. And when I mean full body split, it's basically just a upper body dominant full body split 3 times a week. So you're basically having, right, 3 upper body days. I'll just do 3 upper body days if you want. That's how I would suggest you structure this. You want to be upper body dominant as a whole. And if you found that helpful, you can go check out the BP Fitness Physique System, right? About how to use.
Nice idea. T-bar preacher curls. मैंने किया आज शायद से 40 किलो. चेक कर लेते हैं गाइस. तो आज हमने किया है बाइसेप कर्ल प्रीचर कर्ल 40 किलो की हमने 7 रेप्स. तो यानी कि बाइसेप ठीक ही चल रहा है शायद से हमारा. एंड यहाँ पे इसको अगला टी बार रो. टी बार रो तो मैंने भी ट्राई नहीं किया हुआ है, लेकिन वो भी कर सकते हैं. फिर यहाँ पे वाइड ग्रेप वेटेड पुलअप. ये तो भाई अभी मेरा बड़ा वीक है, 10 किलो हुए हुए हैं. ये वाले तो मैंने किए नहीं भाई. रिवर्स ग्रिप स्मिथ बेंच ये भी नहीं है, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से मुझसे 100 किलो तो हो ही जाना चाहिए. स्मिथ सीटेड शोल्डर प्रेस ये मैं काफ़ी वीक हूँ इसमें शायद से. बोनस 30 to 40 kg कर्ल ये भी मेरा भी मैं कितने ज़्यादा 20 से हो जाएगा. तो ऐसी बातें भाई. have you been all my life? भाई इसके अंदर जब मैं स्ट्रीम करता हूँ इस वाले कैमरा से, तो इसके अंदर भाई इधर फ्रंट में मुझे वो शो नहीं होता है कि मतलब क्या चीज़ मतलब चल रही है, मतलब क्या चीज़ फ्रेम में है क्या चीज़ नहीं है। यहाँ पे फक, ये तो 2x जूम पे है भाई। अब All my life। वाह भाई, इसमें तो मैं स्ट्रीम भाई कर सकता हूँ हर रोज़ भाई, सुबह उठो और वैसे सही चालू हो जाओ। थोड़ा सा इसको ऐसे कर देता हूँ भाई। यहाँ पे ये मेरा खाना, यहाँ पे इस खाने में ये मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं पहले थोड़ा सा नहा लूँ के आ जाऊँ, तो वो अपन देखेंगे। गाइस मैं कुछ चेक कर लेता हूँ फटाफट।
ट्रेड का सबसे बड़ा